Surbhi Rawat, who's heading to Australia to pursue her master's. Welcome, Surbhi. Today, we would like Surbhi to say something about her journey, the very vision or idea, as they say, to go to Australia. When did that happen? What are the challenges she faced? What were her fears? And what is the take back? There are many more students, many more youngsters who are interested to pursue their dream of studying out of India. What are the pointers they should keep in mind when they are planning on this journey? Over to you, Surbhi. So, how did the whole idea of going to Australia, because you're pursuing your master's, am I right?
Yes, ma'am. First of all, thank you for having me, ma'am. And if I talk about the idea of going out, initially it was not in my mind, but I was an employee of Webberz itself, and I was working there. And that's when I had a conversation with my branch head. And then she directed me towards you, and I had a conversation with you, and you were the guiding factor who led me to think about going to Australia. And that's how the thought initially came into my mind that yes, I should apply and maybe I would be able to go to Australia. Now I am. So I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, congratulations on that. So, what were
Thank you.
your fears when you discussed that with your parents, family, because they play a very major role when a child is planning to study abroad?
Right, ma'am. So the very first fear was that I had nobody in Australia, and I still do not. So that was the utmost fear. And the second was that I had already done one master's here itself from Amritsar. So I was a bit skeptical if I would get, admission into the Australian university again the second time. But both of the things again have been successful because of you.
No, you have a great academics. If I could look back into your profile, you've been, tell us about a little bit about your journey, because you're a motivator for many more who think is possible or not possible. So over to you. So be on that.
Right. Ma'am, if I have to talk about my academics, I completed my bachelor's as well as my master's from Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar. In bachelor's, I had social sciences, so I studied that for 3 years. And in master's, I opted for international relations. But because my degree all went in COVID, so I did not have a practical aspect to it. So that's when, of course, you came into the factor and you guided me, that I could take up another master's and go for that in Australia. So that's when I chose public policy because that was a binding factor kind of for my previous masters, and it was adding, of course, it was adding as a promotion to it. So that's why I chose that master.
What matters is the confidence of the student in that program. And
Right.
also, what is your profile speaking?
Hmm.
So one thing which, because I remember you had an intensive internship, you have done so many internships and you talked about it. There might
Yes.
be a few hours internship or there might be weeks internship. So first thing I think which worked in our case was making a good profile.
Hmm.
And on that profile, when we linked, when you came back with me and shared your fears, shared your dreams, shared what you are looking forward for, I think that's what helped us to shape something up from your story.
Right, right.
So for me, I mean that the very thing that a student opens up
Hmm.
and talks about, rather than blindly saying any course, any
Hmm.
program, any university.
Right.
So, as a student, why do you think it is important to know what I'm studying? Why do you think this is very important thing?
Hmm.
Because that's why when we listen to the television news or read somewhere, we find that a lot of students don't even know which course they are heading to. Why do you think it is very important to have a strong profile, share your profile with the counselor, and then select the course which matches to your dreams or to what you have done at least? Why do you think it is important?
Ma'am, I think it's very important because a student ought to know what they are, eventually going to land into because they have not only, stay there, they have to study it. And I do remember when I had a talk with you, I was initially opting for an MBA, but then you were the one who said, think about it and, maybe take a week or 2 weeks, but then study your profile and then, come back and then tell me what you really want to do. So I think that was somewhere I myself was not clear about, and I was going to do the same mistake. But then you guided me, and then you gave me certain options that you should choose according to your profile, because it should match your previous study. And it's very important because afterwards it helps a student to get their visa easily. And of course the government also gets to know that of course a student is a genuine student, they are coming here to study. So I think
Yes,
it's very important to choose a subject that relates to your previous study.
correct. And you have great language scores.
Yeah.
And hard work and Webber's faculty helped you.
Yes, ma'am, definitely they did. And I think one of the main factor was that I myself was working at Webberz. So that gave me a boosted confidence itself. And of course, Webberz are not only they're not like the other companies. So they just don't want their employees to just be there, and they don't want to just earn profit. So I've seen that myself. One thing that I love about Webberz is that every now and then we as teachers used to have small tests, and then we used to the faculty used to ask us questions. So that is something that I really loved about them. So that gave me like an advancement to my own personality. So I think that was really important, and it helped me boost my confidence a lot.
So what were your overall scores, Surbhi?
Well, ma'am, in IELTS I had 7.5 overall,
Wow.
and well, individually I don't remember right now.
No, it shows your skill sets are strong enough to get you admission, and I think it helped you to bag some scholarship also.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So I got a 30% scholarship from the
Wow,
university.
a very
So
big amount of scholarship you
yes,
bagged on your score set. A first division with an IELTS of 7.5 and a great future ahead is a promising future for Surbhi Rawat. And Surbhi, during this 6 months, anytime you had fear that or you got lost, was there anything in Weber's counseling you ever got that?
yes, ma'am. I had multiple fears, especially because I was opting for a double master's. So that was kind of, a backlash, and I was scared that maybe, that's one factor from where I can be rejected. But time and again, you have been, that support at the back end. And whenever I was hesitant, whenever I had any questions, you were always there up front to answer them. So I had no complaints from the services that you provided me. And right now also, I would tell anybody to just come to Webbers and, get the services taken. So yes.
One thing which many students don't want to hear is um, we don't want to write anything about our statement of purpose. We just want somebody to just give us cooked paper. Why do you think it is important to be a part of that writing process?
Ma'am, I think anybody, if the agents also are guiding the students that you don't need to write it, I think they're doing it wrong. But you, of course, told me that I had to do it. At one point, even I thought, why should I should just let you do all the work. But then, of course, it's very very important to write the SOP, because it gives kind of an idea to the student themselves that what course they're opting for, what all aspirations they have. So I think it's quite important that children should write the SOP themselves. They get a fair idea of what they all are going to do again in the future.
And how important it is to be involved in the whole process?
Oh,
Why
ma'am,
should the
yeah.
student should know and also be a part of it? There might be a delay in something. There might be sometimes a delay from the university. Why do you think it is important to be involved and not lose your temper?
Oh, I think, ma'am, it's very important to involve, because then you get to know the whole process. So when we are not involved, we think, oh, why isn't it happening? It's just 1 minute ka kaam hai. You just have to file the documents, get them from the university. But why isn't it happening? But then once you are involved, you get to know that actually it's a very hefty process. And my profile being so many documents being there, it was again very very hefty process. But then again, we had to have a lot of patience because we were so involved. So we got to know that no, it's a long process. So I think 6 months, 5 to 6 months go nowhere in the whole process.
And the checklist, you were time and again
Hmm.
The team was helping you, sharing the checklist, telling you what to do, and you were following the instructions?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Even sometimes I used to get lazy about it, but then Shalini ma'am was always there. She would call me like every morning, in the evening again, to send in a reminder, because I was doing the job side by side. So sometimes it used to skip my mind. But then she was always there. She would call me and send me reminders on WhatsApp, and again call me in the morning if I had not sent it. So yeah, it was quite helpful. I don't think I would have been able to do it myself. So of course that was quite helpful from your part.
So if I, before we jump on the point that you got the visa in flat, how many days?
3 days.
3 days. So the whole 4 months journey,
Hmm.
the result came in 3 smooth days,
Yes, ma'am.
right? But if I'm looking back on those 4 months,
Hmm.
so 3 take backs for students that you
Hmm.
would please, ये 3 गुण तो होने चाहिए तुम्हारे में अगर तुमने इंडिया से बाहर प्लान कर रहे हो स्टडी के लिए. What
Yeah.
are those 3 take backs?
Ma'am, I would say the first one is to be very, very patient with the whole process, not lose the calm, and believe in your agent. And of course, if they are Webbers, believe in them. Then the second one would be like you already mentioned, be involved in the process. Write your own SOP, think clearly about what you're going to do in the future and how it can help you in Australia as well, or maybe whatever country you're going to. And the third one I would say is know about the country where you're going to go. You should know all the details. You should see if it sets you, if you're comfortable living there. Just don't opt for it because somebody is living there or somebody, your friends are there. No, I had a lot of options to go to Canada, but then no, according to my, capabilities or whatever, I thought that no, Australia is the country for me. The region that I've chosen, it's entirely different. I have nobody living there, thousands of miles, but still I thought that it's according to me it will be beneficial, so I chose that. So I think these are the 3 pointers.
Okay. So with this, I think our youngsters who are planning, they get a lot of motivation. They really need to think, as you said, and believe in themselves. And every dream that you have is possible if you have the right thoughts and the right approach towards it. It's
Yes.
a pleasure having you, Surbhi, and it was a pleasure being with you in those 3 months, knowing you as a person, and my best wishes are there. The journey has just begun because as you land in Australia, it's altogether a new world. And
Hmm.
Webberz and the counseling team is there at the back end.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Always a call away or a WhatsApp away because every day it's a new stepping stone.
Right, right,
You might need somebody to talk to. And
right.
that's what the counselors are, someone with whom you can talk to. You
Yeah.
can discuss and you can share. Your family is there to support you, but at times they really do not know the processes of the university of that country. And that's the message, that the journey doesn't stop once you get the visa. Journey begins once you get the visa.
Right, right.
So all the best. I know you're flying very soon and your intake is about to start in a couple of more weeks.
Mhm.